They texted me, so I assumed she was. What was it? She wants me to do personnel.
All right. Good evening. In accordance with the open public meeting, adequate notification of this meeting has been provided by advertising in the record and posting notice in the Board of Education Administration building and filing notice with the city clerk. I hereby call to order the regular meeting Monday, September 19th, 2022 in the high school auditorium at 6:17. Will you do a roll call, please, Ms. Singh?
Yes. Mr. Bendezu is absent. Mr. Carroll,
Present.
Mr. Coleman,
Present.
Mr. Goodman,
Present.
Ms. Maury said she was going to be absent. Mr. Oates,
Present.
Mr. Powell is not here as yet. Mr. Rodriguez,
Present.
Ms. Somerville. Present. Mr. James Vickery.
Present.
We have 3 and 4, 7. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Let's stand for the pledge, please. Two places.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. You may be seated. Be it resolved that the Hackensack Board of Education determines it necessary to meet in an executive session on Monday, September 19th, 2022 to discuss legal, personnel, student-related matters, HIB reports, negotiations, and other confidential matters. And be it further resolved that these matters will be made public when the need for confidentiality no longer exists. May I have a motion to go into executive session?
Motion.
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Goodman, thank you, sir. A second, Mr. Oates, thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And there are none. All right, it is 6:20, 6:19.
Had an opportunity to meet with their grade level assistant principal, school monitor and school counselors during their physical education classes. So we can have a good workshop with them. We had a student activity fair during the lunch periods. Each club and activity set up a table at the athletic field where they had an opportunity to learn more about our activities and clubs that we have. The event was a huge success. We saw many students come out. A lot of students were out there. Our sports are off to a great start. I'm a football player myself. Students' support at our respective athletic contests have been very high, and we appreciate the common pride that we see. Our common football team just won 42-0 against Belleville this coming week. Next week, we're versing Ramapo, and we hope to have a very good week. On September 28th, we're going to hold our annual back to school night at 6:45 p.m. And on October 12th, we're going to administer the PSAT test to all grade 10 and grade 11 students. So with that being said, at the high school, we're thriving and we'll continue to as we get the ball rolling for the 2022-2023 year. Thank you, guys.
Great job. Thank you, Ash. We appreciate it. Oh. All right, we're gonna go ahead and. Okay, so Ms. Parchman, when you're ready. And Ms. Parchman, we're gonna need you to match his energy.
Okay. I have do you want this? Student safety. Can you put it in presentation mode or, oh, good, thank you. Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm going to sound peppy like it's 9 o'clock in the morning. Trustee Vickery. So tonight, I'm pleased to present the Student Safety Data System, SSDS, report to you. This is the end of the year report. So all the information that you see is about what happened in the last school year. So what is SSDS? The Student Safety Data System. It's a state requirement for reporting, and it reports incidents, as you can see, like violence and vandalisms, weapons. I'm not going to read everything, substance offenses, and other incidents that could lead to students being removed from our district schools. And this information is collected by each school and then reported to the Department of Education, and they in turn give us the report back for our end of the year findings. Also, all HIV trainings and programs and other information are collected and reported to the state as well. So you'll see that in this report. And this report this information is reported twice a year. So last school year, I reported from September to December 31st. That's the first reporting. And this is the second reporting from January 1st to June 30th, except it's cumulative. So you'll see the entire year and what happened. So what is reported? On the next slide, you'll see the next two slides, you will see all of the incidents that are reported. And even incidents that occur on school grounds while school is in session, including arrival and dismissal, and at school-sponsored functions. And also incidents of harassment, intimidation, and bullying, HIV, that occur off school grounds as well. So I'll just let you look at some of the things that are reported. And it continues on the next slide. And then this just gives you an end of the year report for each school. So Hackensack High School in 21-22, you'll see the number of incidents that fall under violence, vandalism, substances, weapons, HIV confirmed. You see other incidents that led to the removal of students You see HIB alleged. And then you'll see HIB trainings. And these are trainings that take place within the school. And then HIB programs. These are programs to be proactive, to avoid incidents. And the same if you look at Nellie K. Parker, 2, 6 leading to removal, 12 alleged HIB, and that's alleged. HIB training, 6, and 6 programs. And then Fairmount. No incidents, 1 leading to removal, 13 HIB alleged, and so forth. Fannie Meyer Hiller School, you just read across. Jackson Avenue Elementary School, and the middle school. And then district-wide, we just show how many trainings occurred throughout our district and also the HIB programs. And of course, when we share data, and I've shared this with you every year, for those of you who attend all the time, it's what are we doing? How are we responding to the data? Well, restorative practices in every school, every district, school. Our high school is in its year 4. And I will have to say, remember last year we came off of the pandemic, and this was the first full year last year where students were in school. So, you know, there were issues with social, emotional, and so we're given grace for that, right? But this year, we know that we are going to see less incidents, I really believe. Training for all district anti-bullying specialists and administrators was provided last year. And I also wanted to note this year that training will continue for 2022, 2023, because we have many new administrators. And each school's climate and culture committee under the leadership of a building administrator meets to review data and trends in order to create an action plan to improve. So they look at the data and say, oh, we're seeing a lot of incidents like this, or we're not, and what is the reason so that they can address it. The district's anti-bullying coordinator meets with the district's anti-bullying specialist to review HIB data to identify ways to improve and address problem areas. And I do just want to give a shout out to Heather White Coleman, who has done an outstanding job just coordinating this and really bringing it together. She really works hard and is so committed. She keeps me and Mr. Sanchez on our toes in terms of meeting all the requirements, and she's really passionate about this work. And then central office administration provides support to schools by offering professional development opportunities to enhance culture and climate in each school. And that's the end of my presentation. Did I have a lot of energy, trustee?
Fantastic.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, now we'll move to our superintendent report.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you, Ms. Parchment, for that report. We really appreciate your efforts. So I hope everyone is well. Before I begin my report, please join me in a moment of silence for the victims of Hurricane Fiona, which has devastated the island of Puerto Rico, and as of this morning has left over 1.5 million people without power. And now the storm has made its way onto the Dominican Republic and Haiti. Our thoughts and prayers are with them all at this very difficult time. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. I'm happy to report that we have had a very successful and smooth opening. Our students and staff are excited to be back in school, engaging in the learning process, and the positive energy in the classrooms is inspiring. We can't wait to see what this group of scholars will accomplish. Progress continues to be made on our numerous construction projects, and we are getting ready for the first round of state testing in the next couple of weeks. Our athletic programs are off and running, and our Comets are ready to take on the world. As we return to a more familiar routines, school is starting to look like school again, and we couldn't be happier. Each year from September 15th to October 15th, we celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month to recognize the achievements and contributions of Hispanic Americans to our country. As a proud Hispanic American myself, I would like to take this opportunity to not only thank all of the great Hispanic Americans who have positively influenced and enriched our nation and society through their contributions, but also more locally to thank and recognize all of the Hispanic Americans who work for our great school system and strive to make our district a better place through their everyday practice. Happy Hispanic Heritage Month. As many of you know, back to school night at the elementary schools is this upcoming Wednesday evening. This special night allows our parents to visit classrooms, meet faculty members, and gain knowledge about what their children are expected to learn this year and how they can help them succeed. This is why we encourage all of our parents and guardians to attend. Back to school night for the remaining schools will occur next week, beginning on Tuesday evening. Please look out for communication from your child's principal for more information about their respective back to school nights. Now on to the enrollment report. There are currently 5,093 students enrolled in Hackensack Public Schools, and 5 HIB investigations have been completed. This concludes my report.
All right, thank you. So we'll move on to public comments. Please make sure that you signed in. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Please make sure that all comments are directed to the presiding officer, which is me tonight. And any responses to the comments or questions will be held until the end. Right, Ms. Story.
Good evening. My name is Vito Story. I taught in the school system for 41 years, and I live at 290 Anderson Street in Hackensack. I would just like to personally thank both the board and Mr. Sanchez for changing the back to school night. When the calendars were made, it was a long time ago, and wasn't as aware when I went to go write down what it was. It was like, oh my God, it was right during Rosh Hashanah. And so you all came to the rescue and switched it, and it is very much appreciated. And in the light of multicultural, multi-ethnic awareness, it was the very right thing to do. So I compliment the board on that. Take care now. Oh, and hope everybody has a good back to school.
Good evening. My name is Robin Coles. I'm a former member of this board, and I'm a current resident of Hackensack, New Jersey. And since I'm directed the comments to you, Mr. Scott Vickery, I would like to say that as I sit home, yeah, it's me, it's Robin, yeah, it's me. While I'm at home and I've been watching a lot of the things, I'm really heartbroken about some of the things that are going on around in our schools and in the community here as it relates to our children. So I'm here tonight to express that concern. And I'm also here to remind us that the schools don't belong to you. They belong to us. And that's not about us as adults, it's about the children. And I'm pleading and asking that we become more conscious in our efforts to provide a great education for our children. And also to tell you that, remember, that which is done in the dark always comes to light. Thank you for hearing me tonight.
Good evening, Carolyn Davis. I believe the secretary received a letter this week. I don't know if you're going to read it or not. If not, I have a copy. I'm going to read it now. I'm going to make this very quickly. First of all, the high school looks great. As I walked in, it looked nice and bright and welcoming in the hallway. We thank you for that. I want to thank the Superintendent Sanchez and Assistant Superintendent Andrea Parchment for consenting to our prayer walk. Will be tomorrow at 4 o'clock. As a member of the Daughters of Rich Prayer Ministry, every year, we walk around every school, the Board of Education building, and pray. What's happening in other places, we don't want to happen here. And we do believe in the power of prayer. So anyone that wants to join with us at any school tomorrow at 4 o'clock, please feel free to do so.
Is it tomorrow or Wednesday?
I'm sorry, Wednesday. Remember, I'm a senior. Wednesday. I just want to make this statement very quickly. We always want everything to be done in decency and order and everything to appear transparent. As a member of the work group, we feel with the current litigation involving our superintendent and a staff member, there should be no issue of a change of any contract right now. Not taking any sides. There's just no precedent for it. We have an election coming up and we just feel it should wait. I don't believe there is a precedent, like I said. With that in mind, we should wait at least until March. Still give them a little bit more time, but at least it's after the elections. So I just want to say on that note, we don't think with that going on right now, there should be any change of any contracts. I want to read this letter very quickly. To Hackensack Board of Education, Trustee Scott James Vickery, Lydia Singh, Board Secretary. I was disappointed to see the article regarding the lawsuit put forth from Rodney Lane during the past week. And I can say the name because it's in the news. Mr. Lane and I, and this is coming from Junius Carter III, the president of the NAACP, of which I am also a member. Mr. Lane and I met a few years ago regarding legitimacy and protocols of the hiring practices in the Hackensack School District. It was our hope that he would be treated fairly and be promoted to an administrative position that he was well qualified for. Under the tenure of Superintendent Chantet, there are currently 5 discrimination lawsuits with the emphasis on hiring practices when it comes to protected classes of internal employees. For this reason, the recommendation of the Bergen County NAACP is to revisit any potential contract extension based upon the aforementioned information. Thank you very much.
Good evening. Well, good evening. My name is Jared Freeman. I'm a resident of Hackensack, and I'm also a candidate for the Board of Education. I've attended these meetings largely virtually, but I am in person. And one of my motivators for running is because of the current leadership. President James Vickery, you have some dedicated members on the board. I think that's noted. They're engaging, professional, and really hardworking individuals. But one thing that does concern me is you seem not to know how to bring this team together cohesively. So one thing that I've seen, at least as I've attended virtually the meetings this past year, I've seen that you've been openly hostile at meetings and often disrespectful, at least to Ms. Somerville. You realize that these meetings are recorded. Your facial actions are visible. And also, excuse me. And also, you're Milton at the special meeting over Mr. Powell's legitimate question of having no board lawyer is an example of this behavior. My question is, when do you plan to practice inclusiveness and leadership so that Hackensack can stop being in the news for reasons other than its progress? Thank you.
Good evening, Joyce Wickersheim, Fairmount School kindergarten teacher, Hackensack resident. I'm speaking tonight to bring your attention to the lack of the staff within our buildings. Most of our classes are without paraprofessional support staff that is needed. There are students with IEPs that require them by law to have a one-on-one or shared para, and they do not have them. It has been brought to my attention that the K-1-2 BD classes have been closed and there is no behaviorist on staff. There are students placed into the regular LLD classes that do not belong there and cannot attain the proper education that they by law deserve. This is not what is best for the children of Hackensack. There are also classes that are being split up into already crowded classes because there are not certified substitutes to cover a long-term absence. This is an academic disruption to all of the students and teachers involved. Long-term absences need to be posted and need to be filled. Students need to have the education that they are required to have. The teaching staff is doing their best to hold it together for the children, but splitting up classes and wrongfully placement of students is not the answer or even an adequate temporary solution. I am asking you on behalf of the students of this district to reach out to all your avenues at your disposal to rectify the situation soon before the children suffer anymore. Thank you.
Patty Burleson, Fairmount School. Short. First of all, thank you so much for listening to us. We did need those full-time assistant principals. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We recognize that the sub situation is a problem. Our second grade team is in a desperate situation. One of their team members is out until November. Our school was notified of this return date in August, and that class began with a sub. On Friday, the team was told that they would be splitting that class for the other teachers to absorb. The reasoning was explained that unless the sub is certified, they cannot serve more than 20 days in a row. Elementary is such that we need to have desks and texts and name tags and everything in place so that the students know they belong there. These teachers were told on Friday that they would have 4 to 5 more students on Monday. Obviously, they were very concerned. That day has since been pushed to Wednesday. Again, we recognize the lack of subs is a nationwide situation, but is this the best solution? We know the situation has occurred elsewhere and a different sub was put in for a day or two and the original sub was able to return for another 20 days. We also know that class size has an effect on the success of students. If our administration is concerned about the education these students are getting, we ask that you also consider the disruption these students will face when on Wednesday, the same day as back to school night, they will be moved. And then when their teacher returns, they will be moved again. We have to consider the social emotional needs of these children who have had so much disruption in the past few years. Please allow these students to remain in their homeroom with the teacher they began with the year with, while aggressively seeking a long-term certified sub. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. Sorry. Donna West, HEA president and Hackensack resident, also Hackensack employee. So I do want to echo a lot of the sentiments that have already been raised, but I also want to give kudos and a shout out to Andrea Parchment and Lauren Kasmark for the hard work that they did in listening. Where'd she go? Oh, listening to the teachers this year. We are excited. Many of us are excited about the changes that we have seen based upon a lot of the feedback that we gave the administration last year. So thank you so much, Ms. Parchment and Ms. Kasmark in your absence. I do want to also point out to President Vickery and Mr. Sanchez, you know that we had a long, hard fought, drawn out contract negotiations time, okay? But I do believe that we settled upon a contract that all of us are pretty happy with. So I say this, I'll just say it. I am very concerned that there are those who work for you that are encroaching upon our contract in ways that my members are consistently reaching out to me. It's only been since September 1st and we've already, we're ready to come to the table about some things. I'm going to ask you if you would please remind those who work for you that that contract is what we agreed to. And we would really appreciate it if those who are our leaders would recognize the fact that that contract is binding and that there are things in there that they cannot ask my members to do. I also respect and I understand that there are members who are out of place. You let us know that as well.
But I'm just bringing to your attention that we would like the contract that we fought hard to get to be honored. Thank you.
Good evening to everyone. My name is Quinny Burt, and I'm a diehard Comet will be for life. Again, want to just ditto what Ms. West said to Dr. Casmar and to Ms. Parchment for the great job that they did in getting us ready and preparing a different approach this year. However, there are some concerns that I do have. One is that I understand that subs are a problem everywhere. But again, we must come to the table and look at what are we going to do about it. All of the schools are struggling. All of the schools need subs and we don't have them. And so we've got to find some different approaches. How are we going to approach it differently? I know last year we upped the amount a little bit. That doesn't seem to be working. So we need to look at something else. It's time to pivot again. And so we can't wait. It's the beginning of the year and we're already having that problem. So we can't wait. Another concern I have as a second grade teacher is that I'm excited that my kids get foreign language. But again, we have Spanish teachers that are being stretched between two buildings. And it's a lot, just like it was a lot to stretch two assistant principals between two buildings with two different cultures. It is still a lot for us to stretch two Spanish teachers that way. You have a Spanish teacher that is going through the entire school in two locations. That's a lot of kids to cover. That's a lot of curriculum to cover. And it's really not fair to our kids for that to happen. And so we're glad that health happens on a weekly basis. We have a great health teacher at Hillers, and I hope in the other locations as well. And we're really excited about that. But we need to balance some things. We spend a lot of money on things. And we need to make sure we're spending it in the right direction. The only other thing I would certainly say is I know last year we ordered a whole lot of books for this district, and I think it's wonderful. But at some point, I think that those who are ordering the books might want to talk to those who are in the classroom using the books so that we don't continue to order and spend our money in areas that we don't have to. We're still looking at the fact that we don't really have a science curriculum. We have a new social studies one, and we'll see how that works. But we need to just spend our money wisely, and we need to bring those who are in the classroom to the table a little bit more frequently. It might make the conversation not only more interesting, but more productive. Have a good evening.
Hello, my name is Jordan, and my comment is in regards to the Indigenous People Day on the calendar. In my personal opinion, I find it hard that we have the Indigenous Peoples Day, but we're not really educating students in the grade level on how Indigenous people were affected or how they really lived throughout their lives. I just don't understand how we're going to take off a school day in the calendar that could probably be used towards an extended winter recess or bringing the school year to a close a little bit earlier so we can give students the opportunity for a longer summer break. We're not really educating students on how Indigenous people were either affected in any way, shape, or form by removing a school day from the calendar. And vice versa, nor are we educating them properly on Columbus Day and what happened in Columbus Day, regardless of people's backgrounds and relations to Christopher Columbus and things of that concern. In my personal opinion, I would rather the school board keep the day on the calendar and use it somewhere else and give students the opportunity for a more extended education on these people, on Christopher Columbus, on Indigenous people, instead of completely removing it from the calendar and, like I said, having a longer school year or a shortened winter recess where we can apply these days elsewhere.
My name is Victor, Hackensack resident. I have one statement first about the attendance is night. It is very sad for me to see no parents really in attendance. We have to become, as a parent, you should become proactive instead of reactive. Your presence is needed. Don't show up to a school when your child is having a problem, when you could be here right now, speaking to the administrators and teachers. So please come out to these meetings. You know, if you're home watching Monday Night Football, you should be thinking about your children while you're not here. All right. Now, something came to my attention that's, you know, I can say some things about it, but I'm gonna say it like this. There was a statement made in the community about a group of people, naming basically the work group and others, that we need to stay in our place and mind our business. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Who said this? If you said this, you have no conscience of our history in America. We do not, I am not going to stand up and let anybody, I don't care who you are or what you are, to tell me I should stay in my damn place. My place is standing in front of you, making sure you do your damn job.
Anybody else? Oh. We have a couple online people.
Can you hear me? Okay. Hi, this is Bridget speaking. Sorry I couldn't be there in person, but I am going to come off of the back of my brother, Victor Geddes. The comment that was made one from our elected officials that are sitting up at that table. And the comment is to tell Black people to stay in their place, mind their business, do not talk about the contract, do not talk about the lawyer issue. Well, first of all, as a stakeholder and a taxpayer who contributes to your budget, I am going to continue to speak and I am going to continue to spread the word. And if you feel threatened by the members of the work group as we bring the knowledge and the information to the community, then that's your problem. Maybe that's not the position you need to be in. But if you try that again, I will call you out. So you need to think long and hard before you open your mouth and you put that kind of venom into the air, into the community. Because might not have to deal with nobody else, but you will be talking to me one-on-one. You don't have to go to nobody else's house and try to put intimidation on a person by asking questions or talking about someone else. I think you know who you are. Don't try that again, because the work group is here to stay, and the members of the work group will continue to bring the information to the community. Thank you.
You're on. Go ahead. Okay. Anybody else in the room? All right, thank you all. So we will move to our resolution. We'll approve our minutes. Be it resolved that the Hackensack Board of Education approves the regular meeting minutes and closed session minutes of August 22nd, 2022 and September 1st, 2022 as submitted. May I have a motion? Thank you, Mr. Coleman. A second. A second from Mr. Carroll. Roll call, please. Nope, never mind. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any noes? There are none. Thank you. All right, so we'll move on to personnel.
Thank you, Mr. President. To the board, I move for the approval of personnel actions 8.1, A through Z, based on the recommendations of the superintendent.
All right, we have a motion from Mr. Coleman. Can I have a second? I'll second. All right, Mr. Goodman.
Roll call. Mr. Bendezu is absent. Mr. Carroll,
Yes.
Mr. Coleman,
Yes.
Mr. Goodman,
Yes.
Ms. Maury is absent. Mr. Oates,
Yes.
Mr. Powell,
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Ms. Somerville,
Yes.
Mr. James Vickery,
Yes,
motion passes.
thank you. Moving to policy.
Hi, so good evening, everyone. On behalf of the policy committee, we ask that it be resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the first read of the following policy and regulation, which is PNR 2425, the Emergency Virtual and Remote Instruction Program. This policy is not changing so much as it will be adding two new regulations to that document. So Ms. Marks will have that posted up on the site for you guys to see, and she will also communicate that to the principals of the school for it to be sent out to everyone involved. So again, you should be able to see that up on the website. Take a look for yourself. As for B2, policies for second reading, we do not have any policies for second reading at this time. Motion to approve policy committee B1 and B2.
Thank you, trustee Somerville moved. Can I have a second? A motion. Mr. Carroll made a second.
Roll call. Mr. Bendezu is absent. Mr. Carroll,
Yes.
Mr. Coleman,
Yes.
Mr. Goodman,
Yes.
Ms. Maury is absent. Mr. Oates,
Yes.
Mr. Powell,
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Somerville,
Yes.
Mr. James Vickery.
Yes,
Motion passes.
thank you. And curriculum,
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the approval of curriculum resolution C1, and C19, based upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools.
thank you. Can I have a second? Mr. Oates? And roll call, please.
Mr. Bendezu is absent. Mr. Carroll,
Yes.
Mr. Coleman,
Yes.
Mr. Goodman,
Yes.
Ms. Maury is absent. Mr. Oates,
Yes.
Mr. Powell,
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Somerville,
Yes.
Mr. James Vickery.
Yes,
Motion passes.
thank you. And moving to finance and budget, Mr. Goodman.
Good evening, everyone. Good to have you here. The Finance Committee meeting last week was actually a fairly quiet meeting in terms of the number of resolutions. But the one that I'd like to highlight is D5, because although school has just begun, we are we're actually going to be utilizing the services of the Westmount Country Club for the Hackensack High School prom. I think it's really good to look into the future because this is something that our kids really look forward to. So I just wanted to bring to light that that's already being discussed at the very beginning of the school year. Otherwise, I bring to you items D1 through D10.
Great, thank you. Can I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Mr. Rodriguez, thank you. Roll call?
Mr. Bendes, who is absent, Mr. Carroll,
Yes.
Mr. Coleman,
Yes.
Mr. Goodman,
Yes.
Ms. Maury is absent, Mr. Oates,
Yes.
Mr. Powell,
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Somerville,
Yes.
Mr. James Vickery.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. And moving on to buildings and grounds.
Okay,
Turn the mic a little bit.
good evening, everyone. So I'd like to bring forth to you motion E1, E2, and E3 for approval.
All right, we have a motion from Mr. Rodriguez. Can I have a second? Mr. Carroll, thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Bendes, who is absent, Mr. Carroll,
Yes.
Mr. Coleman,
Yes.
Mr. Goodman,
Yes.
Ms. Maury is absent, Mr. Oates,
Yes.
Mr. Powell,
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Somerville,
Yes.
Mr. James Vickery.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, so do we have any old business that we need to deal with from anyone? Old business? Okay.
So, Mr. Sanchez, I think I had asked this question before, but on the old business, right, we had kind of sort of tabled the question. Can you hear me?
Not that well.
Sorry, I'll do the best I can. We had tabled the question about Columbus Day, right? Adding the day back to the calendar and having them share the day. So it's unified. It's a holiday anyway, and you can celebrate however you feel like when you're home, and the school would do whatever educational opportunities that the teachers and the students may have had. So if we are making the change to the calendar that we're changing the night, is it possible for us to also include that change? So both things are listed on the calendar at the same time? Or is there a reason why we could not?
So of course it's possible, but it was not my recommendation to make any change other than the back to school night.
We will.
Real quick, you hear me? You hear me now? You hear me now? All right. Just real quick, Community Relations Committee, we did not meet during July and August. We are meeting September 22nd, which is Thursday night. But I would like to see if, as it being a new standing committee, I make a motion that we can add the Community Relations Committee to the agenda, possibly under F, so that every month we can have it on there in case one of us isn't here, maybe comments, bring forth what we talked about, make it an official part of the agenda. Because we got some big plans for this thing, man. We gotta get it out in the open.
Right.
I make a motion to make it a permanent item on the agenda. That's the right
Yeah, there's a
word.
bunch of us that will second that.
Okay,
But
so second from
Mr. Carroll.
Carroll, all right. So can we just do a roll call, Ms. Singh?
Okay, so we're doing a roll call, which includes community relations on our agenda as a section F.
Every month.
Correct? That's
Yes, that's correct.
Ongoing.
Yes.
Okay, from the next meeting. Right. Okay, so, let me get a clean sheet, please. Mr. Bendisu is absent. Mr. Carroll,
Yes.
Mr. Coleman,
Yes.
Mr. Goodman,
Yes.
Ms. Maury. Absent, right? Mr. Oates,
Yes.
Mr. Powell,
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Somerville,
Yes.
Mr. James Vickery.
Yes.
Motion passes to include community relations on our board agenda as of next one meeting.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Scott, I have a quick question for you. You were mentioning old business. The issue with the attorneys that they speak about at the last meeting, is that old business or that could be part of board comments?
It can be either, whatever you prefer.
So can I touch on it in old business if you don't mind?
Sure.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
All right, thank you. Hello, everyone. At our last meeting, I think Mr. Geddes was there and Ms. Margot, did I say your name correctly? I hope I did, and I received your email. Thank you. And I can't speak for the board, I can speak for myself. You wanted an apology if you think things were a little contentious with the board. Sometimes things do get contentious when people are deliberating hot button issues, but I will apologize to you. I can't speak for them, but you're a member of the district and you're a stakeholder. You spoke very eloquently, and I think we do owe you an apology. So from me to you, I apologize to you, and thank you for your email. And continue to email us. That's how you keep us on our toes. Okay, don't feel afraid to come to the meeting and ask questions and email us. On that note, and there's another stakeholder that called in regarding the attorney. So here's my take on the attorney issue. The last meeting, we didn't have an attorney. And you had your concerns. One of the board members, Mr. Goodman, went home. He had his concern that it was not a valid meeting. I had my concerns, if you can remember, and I spoke up on it. And I was adamant that we should have. And today I still stand with you. And I still stand firm that we should always have a board attorney with us for many different reasons. Legally, it protects us. Legally, it protects the stakeholders. It protects the community, the superintendent. When legal questions come up, I'm not an attorney. I don't think any of us are at liberty to answer those legal questions. So you were justified. Just want to emphasize that to you in asking the question. And I did ask a question. There were no answers for it. And I still think you deserve an answer. Why? You're from the community. You're a stakeholder. You have a right to access any question you want. So I'm still waiting for an answer as to why we didn't. And to protect the board, we do need an attorney present. We have an attorney tonight that continues to be, but in all the years I've been living here, and I've been to our board, we're never having an attorney. And you had concerns, and Ms. Coles, you are a member of the board also. You can attest to it that we have board attorneys with us. And let me just spin off a little bit on the board attorney issue. If we don't need an attorney, why we pay an attorney? And we do pay a good amount of money for attorneys. So why we waste the tax dollars if we don't need an attorney? We do need an attorney. Why do we do retainers for attorneys when we're saying they're not required to be here? I'm confused. So, there's two things, there's two prongs going on. I think we need one. We should always have one, because you may have questions for us that we can answer and we turn to an attorney. So why are we paying them to stay home and spending our tax dollars? Times are hard, and we require more and more from our community to give more to our budget, to give more. Then we should be held accountable for how we spend our money. And like I said, you're the stakeholders, we owe it to you. And my last comment on that is, as board members, if we go back and look at what our duties are, one of our main responsibility as a board member, and I would ask board members to go back and look at what our duties are, we are responsible to the community, and we are responsible to the stakeholders. It's not for us. We're here, and our job is to follow the rules, the policies, and respect you, and I'm here to respect you every time you come here. We may not always agree, but our job, we can agree to disagree, but always we have to be mindful and be respectful of you. We make time to come to our meetings. You're sitting here, you could be home. That alone, we should respect. So going forward, I am appealing to the board that when you do ask questions, regardless of who don't like the questions, The onus is on us to answer your questions. If we don't answer at next meeting, convene, get an answer, and get back to you. But to totally disregard you is totally out of line and totally disrespectful. So from me to you, I am sorry, and I'm going to apologize, and going forward, we handle your questions and your concerns in a better manner. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
So moving on to board comments.
New business first.
Oh, new business, my bad. Anybody have new business?
I do. I have, it's really exciting. It's not about the fact that I'm a commissioner on the Bergen County Human Relations Commission, but it's exciting about the fact that on November 14th, we will be holding a conference called Courageous Conversations, Working Together Towards Peace and Healing. So that's going to be Monday, November 14th from 9 a.m. to 12 at 2 Bergen County Center. The exciting part is that Mr. Sanchez has already sent a flyer to the principals of the elementary and middle schools because we want the kids in grades K through 8 to enter the Unity in Bergen County sticker contest. All K through 8 Bergen County students are eligible for entry. Students are encouraged to submit artwork that represents what Unity in Bergen County means or looks like to them. Submissions are due October 28th. So it's timing wise, it's a little tight because you guys already have a lot on your plates. But our kids are really artistic. And so that's when submissions would be due. The winner will be announced at the Courageous Conversations Conference. This flyer will be on our website so that you can actually RSVP to attend the conference. That would be pretty impossible because you're all working between 9 and 12, but still, you could RSVP for the content for the conference or for more rules about the sticker contest. And I think it's an opportunity for our kids to have some fun with art. So thank you for indulging me.
All right. That is exciting. Thank you. All right. So now moving on to board comments. We'll start with you, Mr. Powell.
All right, I'll just be quick. Student report, Ashraf Saram, thank you, and Ms. Lockwood for your comments. Well done, very eloquent. We're proud of you guys. Thank young lady Jordan for speaking about the Indigenous Columbus Day. At least we have young people listening to us, and very insightful. Thank you. And we, like Mr. Getty said, we need more people to come out to our meetings, more parents, more young people, just more people to be involved in a community involvement. So well said, Mr. Getty. I appreciate that. Ms. Coles, thank you. It's good to see you. Yeah, we serve together, and it's a pleasure having you here. And thank you for your comments. Well spoken, well said, and we should take heed. Thank you. And come out again. It's really good to see you. Ms. Davis, thank you for reading that letter to us. Okay, and thank you for always coming out to a meeting. You've been a long-standing stalwart of the community, and you've been here to support us for many years. I remember when you started a work group a long time ago. I was a part of it with you. So a lot of people may not know that, but we have a long history together. And thank you for what you do. I just want to thank you and thank you for what you do for the community and for us. Greenberg, regarding subs, very good point. It's very important that we try to get subs. It's very competitive out there now for subs, but I'm sure we'll try our best. But we really need to step it up in whatever category we can to make sure we have enough subs and our classes are covered. The students need it, especially coming out of the pandemic where we had so many issues, so we do need, so that was a great comment you made, but subs is a universal problem right now. And you mentioned foreign language. Our two Spanish teachers are stretched. I don't know what we can do. The board doesn't do that. Mr. Sanchez, that's for you to speak on, where we can hire more. I don't know, but I'm glad you brought it up. Hope Mr. Sanchez can have an answer for that, but tonight or sometime in the near future. Well, thank you for bringing it up. Hispanic Heritage Month begins September 15th, ends up October 15th. I'm not sure what we did in schools, but I hope we did something, and we still have time, if we didn't, to really recognize and honor the Hispanic Heritage Month. 9/11, it's something that we'll never forget, and I hope that also the school did something. And if we didn't, I hope it's not too late. But 9/11 is etched in our memories forever. And that is something that we should really emphasize each year and be prepared for it and pay particular attention to it and have activities for it, because it changed our lives. It changed the world, it changed America, it changed my life forever. So I hope something was done. I can't speak to that because I don't work in the schools, but I hope we can do something about it. And before I close, I want to say this slowly and carefully. I listened to the comments from the community, and I am disheartened that you feel that way, that you don't have a voice. You have a voice. And you have been coming to these meetings. I came to board meetings before I became a board member. Ms. Davis could tell you that. We used to be at the meetings before I became a board member, and we had a voice then. Ms. Coles can attest to that. I want you, when you leave here tonight, to feel encouraged, not discouraged, that you could come and have a voice and you can state your opinions and how you think we can move our district forward. So I'm just disheartened, and I hope it doesn't become a trend for us that we shut you down and we drown you out. I don't think that's what this board stands for. So we're not perfect. I'm not. We make mistakes. We make mistakes. I'm imploring the board that when we go home, we either convene together or we look in the mirror and look at ourselves. What can we do better? The public, to make the public, feel more welcome coming to a meeting. So I can't speak for everyone, but I would hope that we would listen to your comments and take it into consideration that we cannot shut you down. And if we're doing that, shame on us for doing that. You have a right to say, come to the mic, and you have 3 minutes to say whatever you want to say. And we have to do better. And I'll pray about it, but we have to do better. And at some point as a board, we just have to look into ourselves and realize that we're on the wrong path, and it's not too late to correct our journey. Okay. So that's my take on that. So I was just disheartened and listen to the comments, and we don't want that here. This is not what Hackensack represents. So I hope we can change that narrative for you, and I hope we could, feel after tonight that we'll listen to you and we'll do a better job of having a better dialogue with you and respect you. And that's what we're here for. Thank you again. Thank you guys for coming out. We'll wish you a great school year. And COVID is waning, but be mindful, it's still out there. And just follow all the protocols of social distance and take care of yourself and take care of your families. And journey mercies on the way home. Thanks again.
Thank you, Mr. Powell. Ms. Somerville.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Can you guys hear me better? All right. So good evening, everyone. To Ash and Jasmine, congratulations on being new student reporters for the 2022-2023 year. They have large shoes to fill from those that were here last year, but I'm sure they're quite capable of stepping in and doing a good job. Ms. Parchman, on the SSDS report, there was a line item for kidnapping. I am befuddled. Okay, I'll catch you after, but I was just confused if it was a student and student or a parent student, the situation, but that was a little shocking to see. Ms. Story, as always, thank you. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for taking your time and thank you for the consistent waste gain candy that you leave up here for me every single board meeting. I appreciate it. Ms. Coles, we may have kind of gotten off on the wrong foot earlier today. My apologies if by any chance you thought that just giving general information was kind of a course correction. That wasn't my intent. So again, thank you for pointing it out. And again, my apologies if it came out, incorrectly. I appreciate what you said about the community concern, right? And the fact that whatever is done in the darkness comes out to light. And I agree with you 100%. I think that all of the people sitting here need to do a better job, right, of representing you guys, because that's what we are here for. So we stand here because you guys gave, your votes, your time, your talent and your commitment to think that the people that you elected are here to do the job that you guys are asking us to do. We are not here, nor should we sit here, right, as this is a personal thing for us to be able to advocate on our own behalf. That's not the role and that's not the job. So again, I agree with you 100% that these guys that sit here need to do a better job. We need to hold ourselves accountable and we need to take responsibility for what we put out there in the atmosphere. And a lot of times sitting here, it is not pleasant, it is not right, and it is most of all not truthful. They're adults. They need to be responsible for their actions. They need to hold themselves accountable and the truth should matter. So again, I apologize to everybody that comes here and you guys feel like you are kind of sort of left out because you don't get the truth from the people that are sitting here. You get obfuscation, you get sidestepping. It's not right and it shouldn't happen. Mr. Freeman, good luck on your campaign. I thank you for what you said. I appreciate your advocacy on my behalf, but please understand that by no means am I a shrinking violet. I will speak my mind, I will stand my ground, and regardless of the eye rolling or the huffing or the puffing, I could care less. My job is not here to make anybody happy. My job, standing here or sitting here, is to do what you guys elected me for, which is try to advocate as best as I can for the students and the people of Hackensack. And whomever is sitting on this board that don't like it, too bad. Deal, move on, get over it, whatever it takes for you to make your day right, don't care. But again, I definitely appreciate the looking out. Thank you so kindly. Ms. West, as always, you come to the board and you are always advocating on behalf of your workers, right? I would appreciate the fact if honestly you guys could sometimes, without revealing somebody's name, give a little bit more detail on exactly what you're talking about, because it's kind of hard when you said they're violating the contract to kind of understand, exactly what you mean, like where did they overstep, what the issue was. So without going into, granular details, if you could just be a little bit more expansive when you tell us. If you can't, I understand, but that was just my concern, to kind of sort of understand where you were coming from and where you thought the impact to your members was. I guess Ms. Burke, Mr. Sanchez will handle the issue with the foreign language teachers and stuff that's outside of my scope. I appreciate Jordan talking about the school calendar. This is a combination of Ms. Rutger and Mr. Geddes. The board was in receipt of a notification, right, or a letter that described the incident that you're talking about with the individual, and the name of the person that is sitting on this stage was included in the letter. I would ask for both of you, since you're asking for transparency and you're asking for clarity, say the name. There is no need for you to hold it in or tell the person that they get a second shot at saying what they said or did what they did. Say the name. That's what you're here for. You stand here in front of us, you come here and you ask us to advocate on your behalf. Say the name. There is no reason for you to keep it quiet. There is no reason for you to hold it in. Whomever said it should own it. You say it, you insult the members of the community, you get what you get, and you don't get upset. Own it. So the person that said it, that is sitting here, that knows who he is, should stand up and own it.
So again, I ask both of you, say the name. I yield my time back. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Coleman.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would say it's great to be back from a break, but we did not take a summer break. But I am very optimistic about this new school year. I look forward to all the changes that have been taking place in the district. I have a child in the high school, middle school, and at Fairmount, Mr. Belton. And I wanted to kind of address what Mr. Geddes said. A lot of parents are home perhaps watching Monday Night Football. And if it weren't for the fact that I do have 3 kids that are actively in this school district, I certainly wouldn't be sitting on this dais, and I possibly could have Monday Night Football in the background while I'm helping my kids with their homework or something else. But I also understand what your calling is. Your calling is to speak for those, and I think Mr. Gaines at one point said that in a board meeting, that he comes to the board meetings to speak for those who can't or don't. So not everyone's watching Monday Night Football. Some people are working. Some people don't have childcare. Everyone can't come to these meetings. And Mr. Gaines took it upon himself as his personal calling to come to these meetings and speak for those people that can't be here. And if Mr. Geddes, that is your calling, so be it. No one can begrudge that. Speak your mind. To the HEA, I really appreciate you all coming in and talking about, any administrators coming in, if you so desire to do so, come forward and speak about what's going on inside the buildings. I can't imagine that anything that's being said has not already been passed on to the assistant superintendents and the superintendents, but I really appreciate you all coming forward and letting us know what's going on. Feet on the ground, boots on the ground. And I may not have ever said it, but I really do appreciate what you all are doing. Ms. Wickershine, you were my kid's kindergarten teacher. I'll touch on briefly. I know some things happened at the special meeting that was called, and I will say that I was equally embarrassed by what people may or may not have heard was going on in the closed session. And I know that people are supposed to comport themselves in a professional manner at all times. You should address an adult like an adult. At some point, some people say that particularly when 2 men talk to each other, there's a low level of respect they show each other because the low level threat of violence, but I guess some people don't feel that. And some people feel that they can say whatever they want in closed sessions and even make threatening comments. If that's the case, I apologize and I am embarrassed along with you. The manner in which the board conducted themselves in closed session, you were not meant to hear anything, but the fact that you did, it's unfortunate. That's all I have. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I was stoked to be here tonight and share my excitement with the upcoming school year. I think there's a lot of good things happening, but the tenor of this meeting has changed with information learned and received. Work group, just know that everybody appreciates your voice and we appreciate you coming out week after week. And with the more voices we hear in the city, the better off we're all going to be. But I echo a lot of the sentiments up here that we have to do better. If one of us hurts, we all hurt. Mark Twain had a comment or a quote. He says, Mark Twain's about school boards. He said, at first, God made idiots. That was for practice. Then he made school boards. I think that goes to show you that we're not perfect, but none of us up here are perfect. We have a lot to learn. We have a lot of growing as individuals and as elected officials. This is not an easy job, but it's a job nonetheless we did volunteer for. We did put our name on those slates and we tried to get elected so that we could represent you. And just knowing that every day we're up here, I think I speak for everybody, not just myself, that we're trying our hardest. Some days are not perfect. We're like a dysfunctional family. I get it. But at the end of the day, we are here to put everybody in a position to succeed. And if we're not doing that, then we're failing. That's what it's all about. That's it. That's all I'm going to say about that. I just want to say, you flip the script. Dr. Whiting, the volleyball game the other day was insane. I was only there for a few minutes, but I think that was the first volleyball game in the history of the middle school. The first scrimmage, right? And it was only a little bit of crowd there. But let me tell you something. When they scored their first point or their first volley, the place was loud. It was like, oh my gosh. The other firemen over there were out in the hallway. They were like, what the hell is going on in there? Like, bro, it's a middle school volleyball game right there. You don't know? Come on. Now, hopefully we'll get a couple victories, and it's really an awesome thing that's going on there. The energy, the mojo I feel with the students, again, adults will be adults. We'll hammer that stuff out, no doubt. But I feel like there's a great mojo. My kids are excited. Their friends are excited. Everybody I see, the football players, the cross-country athletes, everybody, the soccer players, everybody's excited about this year. So let's keep it going, man. I've said it numerous times. I'm sorry for a delayed pause. I thought you were, sorry. Superman's not coming to save us. It's on us. We have to do it together or we're not going to do it at all. We have to find a way to work together and do this together. Go Comets.
Good evening, everyone, again. Thank you all for coming out. I appreciate it very much when any of you come up to the microphone because it is an open mic. You all have something to say, and it's very important for us to listen. So I do appreciate that very much. I'm the person that kind of started the ruckus at the open meeting, the last open meeting, because I walked out without an attorney. So I don't apologize for that. I just felt that it wasn't a proper open meeting without our attorney, and that's why I left. I especially love these meetings when our students talk. That to me is a real highlight because they talked about something as simple as the PSATs happening on October 12th. Ms. Parchment, you always bring data to us. And I appreciate that. Data is what drives what we do and how we make improvements. So thank you very, very much for that. I don't know about you guys, but I love looking at our solar panel farm out in the parking lot. I think that this new entrance and the associated skid-free floor is amazing. And it just basically tells the entire community what this school board is doing for our schools. Elevators, making our schools ADA compliant. Thank goodness. And they actually kind of look really neat from the outside. I can't wait to see what they will look like on the inside. So I'm really proud of what's going on in the school district. And I thank all of you for coming out, and stay safe.
Thank you guys for coming. First, I'd like to thank Ash and Jasmine, I believe, for student report, always informative. I'm sorry. And I want to welcome the teachers and all the students back to school. And Ms. Parchment, of course, I want to thank you for your presentation, and Ms. Coleman for assisting you in putting that together. I was out at the student activities fair before they got out there while they were setting up, and I was surprised to see all the clubs and activities that Hackensack has to offer, which is real exciting. I didn't know we had that much to offer the students, but I'm glad to see that that was a success. Great to hear the fall sports are doing okay. Go Comets, right, Mike? Go Comets. And I wish all the teams good luck as they go forward. Happy Spanish Heritage Month, September through October, I believe. And also September's Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Just, I like to give prayers to those families and children going through that. And I would like to say thank you to HEA and the community for always coming, keep holding us accountable, keeping us on our toes. I just want you all to know, although it may not seem like it behind closed doors, we are getting a lot done and making progress. And again, thank you all for coming. God bless. Mr. Rodriguez.
Thank you all for coming out tonight. I want to thank the Jasmine and Ash. They stole the show, actually. I love their energy, the personality. Looking forward to more future reports from those guys. I'd like to, agree with a lot of the sentiments. I'd like to thank the staff for coming out because we do listen to your concerns. We know that they're serious and they're needed change, so we appreciate you coming. Thank you, guys. I also like to agree that, it'd be great to see more parents and students show up as well. So they can, share their side of how they feel. That's important. And I also like to agree, there's a lot going on constantly, I'm glad to have the school year start over again. We're busy, but we never stopped. Over the summer, we've been really busy trying to move the district forward and do what we think is best. And I think we're doing a good job, as best we can to kind of improve things for everybody, the district, the kids, the teachers, and the community at large. But we can do better. We can be better. And that's all we can strive for. So thanks again for coming out. And I'm going to keep it brief so we can get home in a decent hour. Thank you.
Good evening. So I want to also say to Ash and Jasmine, the energy, that's what I hope that we all will strive for as we come to these meetings, because that is what will keep us moving in this district, is that type of energy. I want to give a shout out to Shauna Hills Shortridge at Fairmount. I watched her have a encounter with a parent and watched her follow protocol to the T of not releasing a student until she could verify all the information that she needed to verify. And that was good to see. On the Indigenous People Day comments, so I just want to reflect back on that. We listened to our school community and it was very clear what our school community desires in that, and that's the decision that was made. So that is the decision that we went with. And we will continue to listen to our community in that conversation. So I'm not sure why this is bubbling back up now, but we will continue to listen to that to you, the school community, in that conversation. The work group, I want you to know that I value the work that you do. You have a place in the circles in this community. You have a place in this city, and you for sure have a place in this district. Keep coming. That's what we want and expect. So the infamous September 1st special meeting. There seems to be a lot of misinformation that has floated around about that. And it all seems to circle around 9 minutes previous to starting a meeting and things that were overheard in executive session. And so the conversation was, why did we not have a board attorney there? Well, what's funny about it, well, so first let me say that conversation the meeting was called specifically to have an executive session so we could hammer out some details. Because I'm correct in that executive session has not been made public yet, right?
Sorry?
That executive session has not been made public yet.
In terms of,
The minutes,
do you guys vote? I don't know if they put up on your website.
well, there was no action really. So,
Did you vote on them, on the?
I mean,
Yes, it's facts. Okay. The minutes. Yes. Yes.
so can we talk about what
I mean, I don't,
okay, so anyway, it was an executive session. We're hammering out some details that we needed to discuss. The board attorney was not present for a reason that everyone there understood. Meaning the board members. Now, when we had members from the public ask in an exchange, it was stated that one is not required. And so tonight, let me read from the law firm that represents us. So the question presented is the attendance of board legal counsel required at the Board of Education meetings? The short answer is under the Open Public Meetings Act and the Hackensack Board of Education (parentheses board) bylaws, there's no requirement that a board's legal counsel must attend public meetings of the board. The board can request that its legal counsel attend a public meeting of the board. However, the attendance of the board's legal counsel is not mandatory under state law. The firm serves as general counsel to several public school districts in New Jersey where we do, meaning this firm, we do not attend the public meetings of those school districts, boards of education, unless specifically requested to do so. It is the board's sole authority and choice whether or not to have general counsel attend board meetings. So the analysis, under the Open Public Meetings Act and the board's bylaws, there is no requirement that the board's legal counsel must attend public meetings of the board. And it cites New Jersey NJSA 10-4-6. Hackensack Public School District Policy 0174, legal services allowed the board to request services or advice from contracted legal counsel. Policy 0174 addresses the scope and role of the board's legal counsel and does not include any requirement that the board's legal counsel must attend the public meeting of the board. The rest of the board's bylaws do not contain any requirement making the attendance of the board's legal counsel mandatory either. In fact, this firm serves as general counsel to the following public school districts where we do not attend the public meetings of the boards of education unless specifically requested to do so by the board as follows.
I would caution against reading out other, anybody else represented. If you're gonna start listing other school districts. I'm sorry. I would caution against reading out other, it sounded like you were gonna read out other school districts at the.
Okay, that's fine. There are other school districts listed that our firm represents. When this firm previously represented blank school district, we did not attend the public meetings of blank school district unless specifically requested to do so. The board is within its rights to amend its bylaws and make the attendance of the board's legal counsel mandatory at all public meetings if it wishes to do so. However, until such time that board has, until that amendment occurs, the board is not obligated to have its legal counsel present at its public meetings unless it so desires. So I read that to say, because of the content of executive session, it was, they were not invited because it would have not made sense for them to be there. And the other trustees had conversations with administration 2 days prior and understood that they would not be there. Sent emails early in the morning, understanding, and requesting that one be there with having full understanding that one would not be present. So having this whatever of not, acting like there's performance that there was, it didn't have knowledge that there wasn't going to be there is bewildering to me. Now, as far as the behavior, and because we received a couple of requests for apologies. And so I've spent a lot of time thinking about this. And so in my time on the board, as both vice president and president, I've carried myself with dignity. Part of my commitment to my own faith is self-reflection and introspection. When I have made mistakes, I have owned it. I hope that you have seen me publicly own when I make mistakes. I have worked to change the culture of this board. When we are elected, we are here to serve the students, teachers, staff, and stakeholders of this district. That means leaving politics and political slates behind. That has always been my practice and my commitment to this board in whatever capacity I serve and for as long as I serve. I have also worked to build trust and transparency. We have worked to answer the questions we can in real time and try to get answers to you if we don't have the answer for you at the very next meeting. However, there are times that questions cannot be answered because we have a duty to protect confidential information, particularly in regard to personnel. This, of course, applies to executive session. What I can assure you and tell you is that I carry myself behind closed doors the same way that I carry myself on this dais. I do not raise my voice. I do not scold people and I do not chastise. I do not get heated and I respect the voices and participation of all my colleagues. I work hard to build consensus and I've worked hard to foster shared leadership among the board. In this room, I have worked to build better relationships with those who participate in these meetings and take to heart every public comment. I've also worked to make these meetings more accessible through Zoom and holding them at various school sites across the district. Part of that commitment has been to value the time of those who participate. I try to start the meetings promptly, as they are advertised, make sure there's adequate time for the public comments, and do my best to respond within the bounds of what is appropriate. Again, I own my mistakes when I have made them, and I will make more. And after much reflection and direct conversation with colleagues on this board, I do not feel that my actions at the special called meeting earlier this month warrant an apology. I cannot share details of executive session, but will reiterate that I did not raise my voice, nor was I heated in any way. Here in this room, we started the meeting on time, as is my responsibility. Any individuals who had concerns regarding having an attorney present were giving responses in the days prior to the meeting and in moments leading up to the meeting. The meeting was appropriately advertised and conducted. We have very real work to do in this district. In addition to the ongoing facility upgrades, we have a generation of students who suffer from the ongoing impacts of a global pandemic that robbed them of 2+ years of a normal school experience. We have teachers and staff doing everything they can possibly do to meet state expectations while balancing social emotional learning needs of their students and healing their own souls after these tumultuous years. We all must commit to having their backs and supporting their needs. This means leaving politics at the door. We simply do not have time for it, nor it is what we're elected to do. Personal agendas have no place here. Our commitment must remain to students, teachers, and staff, and stakeholders. That has been my commitment for my entire tenure on this board, and I will not apologize for that. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Good night. Thanks, everybody.